Okay, hopefully this works this time. This is Sydney Woodrow, and this is my presentation on the 5 steps of brain building. Here's some of my daycare children. Here are some of the kids that I interacted with in my videos. For my infant videos, I had 6 months and 12 months. And for my toddler video, I had this 14-month-old, and also the older one is almost 3 years old. So brain building is basically just an everyday interaction. It has a big impact on developing brains throughout childhood, starting even before babies can talk. We call this serve and return. The serve and return interactions help shape brain architecture. It's sort of like a game of ping pong. The child serves by showing an interest in something, and the adult returns the interest by responding in a supportive way. Through early relationships and with nurturing, responsive interactions, infants and toddlers learn ways of being in relationships, how to get their needs and wants to be met, and how to identify and regulate emotions. Because these skills develop together, this area of development is referred to as social-emotional development. Here are some of the ways you can promote this development of infants and toddlers. So with this serve and return, your step 1 is to share the focus. When a child is interested in something, it's pretty easy to tell. Even if it's an infant, you can tell they're focusing on it. They may be kicking their legs a little bit, looking at the object. Basically, all we want to do is pay attention to them, let them know that we see them. This helps build their curiosity, and it strengthens the relationship between the child and the caregiver. Some of the things we did in my toddler video were we played outside with water and a magnetic fish set, and we did like a little sensory bin. So the child was picking up the fish, and I was saying, oh yeah, you got the orange fish, you caught him on your fishing pole. Just paying attention to the child. But it doesn't have to be something that fancy, I guess you could say. It can really be anything. It can be something as simple as getting the child a snack, playing outside. An infant, for sharing the focus, you may notice that they're just focusing their attention on something and moving their arms and legs a little bit. In my infant videos, I'm basically just watching the baby play with a certain toy. When he drops it, I hand it to him. I'm talking to him about it. It's easy to see when a child is interested in doing an activity or looking at something. Step 2, next you want to support and encourage. You're just returning their serve by saying words of encouragement. The baby might hand you a toy and you say, oh, thank you, good job, that's right. Things like helping and playing with the child let them know that their thoughts are heard and understood. You can even use your facial expressions or your body movements in some ways to encourage the child. If they're pointing at something, you just get it, bring it closer to them. If they drop it, hand it back to them. And just talking to them, telling them they're doing good and just interacting with the child. Step 3 is to name it. When you return a child's serve by naming what they are seeing, doing, and feeling, you make important language connections in the brain. You can name anything. It can be a person, a thing, an action, a feeling, combination of all these. And this is giving them words that they can use later and helping to strengthen their language development. And so this type of brain building can happen even before the child can talk or understand your words. So when you're naming what the child is focused on, you're helping to build their understanding of the world around them and what they can expect. So they may pick up something and you say, oh yeah, you have the orange fish, or you have a lemon, whatever, you have a car. So step 4 is going to be taking turns back and forth. You want to make sure you're giving the child a chance to respond and facilitating a conversational type of thing with them, even if they're not can't actually talk to you. You know, they might be making sounds at you, and so you're listening to what they say, and then you want to say something back to them and keep it going as if it's a conversation. This is going to help them be able to get along with others as they get older, and they're going to learn self-control. You always want to give the child a chance to respond, and this is giving them time to develop ideas, build their confidence and independence. The last step is to practice endings and beginnings, and this is a pretty simple concept as basically the child, say for example you have a toddler, they're going to walk around, pick something up, play with it for a minute, and then they're going to throw it down, they're going to get something else. There's your beginning and there's your ending. It's pretty easy to see, especially with toddlers, that they're going to signal when they're done and ready to move on to a new activity. They're going to let go of the toy to signal an ending and pick up a new toy to signal a new beginning. And so sharing the focus is very important in this step. You just want to make sure that you're giving attention to whatever new item that they may pick up. When you can find the moments for a child to take the lead, you support the child in exploring their world, and you make more serve and return interactions possible. I learned a lot from doing these serve and return videos with my infants and toddlers. I look forward to passing this information along to staff that I have and to the children's families of ways that they can try to facilitate this with their child. It's so important and critical for the child's developing brain, and it's something that you can do anytime, anywhere. And you don't need toys, you don't need technology. You can look for small opportunities throughout the day, and these interactions really make everyday moments fun, and they do become second nature with practice. I didn't know that there was an actual name for this, but this is something that, you know, I feel like is kind of a second nature thing for you to do as daycare provider or a teacher. You're just making conversation with the child, even if it's a child that can't talk back to you yet. You know, you're just trying to teach them. It's really teaching them about how to be social at some point. You know, they're practicing how they're going to have a conversation one day. And like I said, there's so many ways you can do this with children. So like in this picture right here, they were exploring the inside of a pumpkin. So if they were looking at the pumpkin, I would first share the focus with them and say, oh yeah, this is what's on the inside of the pumpkin. Let's feel it. Let's describe what it feels like. And then kind of you can name the parts. You can say, oh, these are the seeds. This is the skin of the pumpkin. You can talk to them about different things. If it's an older child, they're going to be asking you questions. You can make a lot of things. You can spread a lot of things out for children. And make it really fun. Do a lot of sensory type stuff when you're describing it. Even if it was something like making a snack with a child, you can let them help you and you can kind of describe what you're doing and let them interact with you. But I had a great semester, and I feel like I learned a lot and a lot of things I can put toward my career, and I appreciate everything that I've learned, and I hope everybody also had a great semester. Thank you.